Well now, good morning everyone. Glad to have you with us on Exiles TV. I am Bill Profita. Kevin Gallagher taking a little time off to tend to some business, as we say in the business. He will be back on our next telecast. We want to wish everybody a happy holiday season, a happy new year coming up. And joining us today, a little later in the program, is Trooper Taylor Scrantz from Louisiana State Police. He is the Public Information Officer for Troop A, but he's going to talk about the DWI patrols that are going to be out there over the New Year's holiday and what our death tolls on the highways have been like in the past few weeks during the holiday season. Are we doing a little better than last year, a little worse than last year? And some tips to keep you from becoming a victim of crime while in your car. Have you noticed the recent spate of hijackings in the city of New Orleans? They are trying to set a new world and Olympic record. And also automobile burglaries, most of which can be avoided. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But yesterday I talked about my favorite Christmas gift from this Christmas season, but I forgot to bring it in. So I brought it in to show you. This is a koozie that one of my dear friends said had my name all over it. Are we going to get the shot on this there, Marty? You going to call for the shot, or do I have to hold it up? On this, we going to call for the shot on this, or are we going to just? I'll just hold it up if you need to. There we go. There we go. This is my favorite Christmas gift, and for those of you who know me personally, you'll know why it was chosen for me. It says, "Despite the look on my face, you're still talking." And it says it on both sides. So thank you, Laura Shaw. You know me all too well. This in fact is my favorite gift of this Christmas season. Let's talk a little bit about something that's going on. It's going on in Baton Rouge. It's going on in Iberville Parish. We got news reports out of Ascension Parish in Prairieville and Gonzales last week. Vehicle burglaries, this time in Livingston Parish, in the Audubon Village subdivision, and most of you can just insert where you live here. But there's a lot of video of persons rummaging through vehicles and burglarizing them. And they're making it easy, because these people have all left their vehicles unlocked. And in them, firearms, cash, computers, all kinds of things that make a burglar very, very happy. And the burglar doesn't have to make any noise, doesn't have to break anything, doesn't have to jimmy any doors, because these people are leaving their cars unlocked. Morons. Idiots, mental defectives. Why are you arming thugs? That's exactly what you're doing, by the way. These little creeps, most of them teenagers or older teens or young adults, you are graduating them from shaking door handles to armed robbery or worse, because you're arming them with your weapons because you can't lock your damn car. This is in the Audubon Village subdivision in Denham. Here's one of the women whose car went through. It makes you feel kind of violated. Someone going through your personal belongings? You think? You are a genius. Firearms missing, change missing, everything just strung through, dug through, looked through, everyone down our street. Thieves got into 10 unlocked cars in this one subdivision, all of them unlocked. This genius says, "I ran out first to make sure that my MacBook was here. And I was like, yay. And my husband said, like, no, the guns, they're gone. 2 handguns and cash taken from this genius's vehicle. These burglars are smarter than you are. They're taking guns, they're taking computers, they're taking cash. Why would you leave guns, computers, and cash in your car? In your unlocked car? Why would you do that? You've seen video all over television from Gonzales, from Prairieville, from Baton Rouge, from Plaquemine and Iberville Parish. The same damn thing going on. Why are you making it easy for these people? Please, please. I don't want to face your handgun in the hands of a 17-year-old would-be drug dealer. I don't want to face your handgun in the hands of a tweaker who hasn't sold it yet to get your next fix, but he's going to try to get the money from me. I don't want to face your handgun when I go outside my house at 10 o'clock at night to take my dog out, and these guys are rambling around looking for unlocked cars, and they've got your pistol in their hand. Please, New Year's resolution, lock your damn car and take your guns out of it. Please. Time for a quick break. We'll be back in a minute.
Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back, Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us. I am Bill Profita. Kevin Gallagher taking the day, take care of a little business. In just a few minutes, we will visit with Louisiana State Police and talk about some words of wisdom and warning for your holiday weekend. Reporting on all of these automobile burglaries, and something occurs to me. Now, I remember when I got my first driver's license and I had to get my own insurance. That was the way my dad wanted it. He wanted me to feel the same pain that every other driver, felt, and the same responsibilities. Now, I know for a fact that if you leave your keys in your car and it is stolen, your insurance company will laugh hysterically at you, give you the middle finger, and not pay you a penny. That is an absolute fact. I wonder if insurance companies will pay for your firearms and your computers and whatever else if you have left your car unlocked. I suspect that they won't pay for that either. But maybe somebody in the insurance business can enlighten me and let me know whether or not that is the fact, whether or not your insurance company can refuse to pay your claim on the grounds of gross negligence and stupidity if you leave items in your car while it is unlocked. I would certainly hope so. I am also wondering, since we have an epidemic of murders in this state, particularly in Baton Rouge and in New Orleans, and Shreveport is doing pretty well too, and most of the guns that these punks are using to kill people come from burglaries, cars, and homes. I am wondering if sometime very, very soon, if the legislature is not going to find a way to penalize people who lose their firearms through stupidity, such as leaving them in their car unlocked. Now, I know what's going to happen. People aren't going to report the burglary because they're not going to want to get in trouble. But God almighty, we really, really, really do need to do something about this because, 20 years ago, if a kid was shaking as he came into the convenience store and he was trying to get the money out of the register, chances are the cheap Saturday night special in a small caliber that he was holding would blow up in his hands or misfire if he tried to pull the trigger. Now, they're walking around with Glocks and SIGs and Springfield Armory. And they're walking around with 40 caliber weapons, 45s, 9 millimeters that work first time, every time, all day, that carry 17 in the magazine. You watch the news. Do you want what you see in the news during the perp walk to be walking around with that kind of armament? Then don't give it to them. Lock your car. Take your gun out of the car and lock your car. The gun is going to do you no good sitting in that vehicle overnight. Take it in the house with you and lock your car. And for God's sake, don't make it easy by leaving your car unlocked to where they don't have to make any noise at all. They don't have to break a window. They don't have to jimmy anything. They don't even have to set off your alarm. Because in most cars, your alarm isn't set unless your car is locked. Please, for God's sake, don't be stupid. The stimulus checks. The president had asked for $2,000. He said that $600 per person is measly. I happen to agree with him. And I know it's a lot of money. And I know we're going to have to work this out over the next 10 or so years to get that money back into the coffers of the Treasury. But there are a lot of people who won't have 10 years, 5 years, or even a year if we don't do something. So what has happened is, oddly enough, the Democrats in the House of Representatives rallied to the president's side on this one, and they pushed through a $2,000 stimulus check for every individual who makes less than $75,000 a year. If you make more than $75,000, there will be a graduated rate on it. Now, it goes to the Senate. And I believe as soon as they finish debating the override of the defense spending bill, which was vetoed, and the House did override it already, it has to go to the Senate, they're going to take this up next. There are some Republican senators that are saying it's too much money, it's too much of a burden on the Treasury. I think there's going to be a lot of discussion between the Democrats in the Senate and the Republicans in the Senate as to what they want to do. I really don't think that anybody wants to live with that $600. I think it is kind of measly, considering things are getting a bit worse, and the first one was $1,200 per person, $2,400 for two, with additional money for dependent children. If you want a prediction, I think what's probably going to happen is that a compromise committee is going to get together and maybe come up with something like $1,400 to $1,500. And they'll make that amendment very, very quickly, and they'll send it back. And I think that's what Americans are going to end up with. But I happen to agree with the president that $600 during this time of crisis is absolutely paltry. So we're going to see how this happens. Before we go to break, your auto insurance rates are going to rise again. Remember how we all got little discounts because nobody was driving to work and all that due to COVID? Well, guess what? They're all going to end in the next couple of weeks. And we are going to see increases in our automobile insurance rates that are going to be phased in, and they could be as high as a 10% increase. Same thing that happened with our homeowners insurance. Jim Donnellan, the insurance commissioner, announced this just the other day. So, like a good neighbor, you're in good hands. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more. Liberty, only pay for what you need. All of them, they giveth and they taketh away. But they taketh more than they giveth. So, think about that when you renew your homeowners and your automobile insurance for 2021. My dad used to shake his head and he'd say, "These guys." That's pretty much all you can say about the insurance racket business. I don't want to call it a racket. It's a business. It's just business. It's nothing personal. Back in a moment. Stick around. Come on up.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Taste the feeling.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
You could be driving. Right now, during the Team Honda Upgrade event, get a new 20 Accord Sport for just $309 a month with no money down, no first payment, and no security deposit. It's time to upgrade to your new Honda at Louisiana's #1 new car dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Welcome back. Glad to have you with us on Exiles TV. I am Bill Profita. Kevin Gallagher taking the day off today. Glad to have you with us. I want to remind you all that this show will replay at 10 o'clock tonight on this same channel. And of course, Clarence Buggs follows us here at 11, and his show will replay as well. This will be our last show of the year 2020, so we will see you all back in 2021. But they're going to salt in over the next couple days our shows from the previous week during the holiday season. So we hope you will stay tuned, and we look forward to, as they say, seeing you on the other side. Joining us right here is Trooper First Class Taylor Scrantz. He is with Louisiana State Police Troop A. He is a public information officer. Taylor, good to have you back.
Good morning. Thank y'all for having us.
How have the holidays been for LSP?
So ordinarily around the holiday season, we see an uptick in fatality crashes due to alcohol impairment as well as unrestrained drivers. And fortunately enough, the numbers are actually down for the Christmas holidays.
Wow.
And that was a pleasant surprise for us. However, we still have New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, which have also shown to be prevalent for fatality crashes.
So I know it's good either way you slice it that our fatalities have been down for the Thanksgiving Christmas period. That's a good thing. Anything that you can point to? Is it less travel? Are people being more careful? Are they drinking less? Is it all of the above? What do you all feel?
Well, we hope that, it's due to education of the importance of not drinking and driving and the importance of having your seatbelt on, and everyone is taking the responsibility to ensure their safety as well as their fellow motorists.
I am seeing more reports in the news, and what you and city police and the sheriff's offices are all seeing, probably triple this. And it's odd. I am seeing more reports of serious injuries or even fatalities from unrestrained drivers. The 27-year-old who died up on Blunt Road, I guess it was late last night, early this morning. His vehicle went off the road and went into a canal, and he died in the vehicle, and they said he was unrestrained. Is this ticking up a little bit?
Yes, sir. We definitely see more unrestrained drivers killed in fatality crashes, and that's why it's so important to wear your seatbelt. Not all crashes are survivable, but the chances of surviving a serious injury crash significantly increase whenever you do have your seatbelt on.
If you don't have your seatbelt on and those airbags deploy, you're going to get hurt a lot worse from those airbags, aren't you?
Right, and even more times than not, whenever we see a serious injury crash when speed's involved, a lot of drivers get ejected, and it's very hard to survive a crash when you get ejected from a vehicle going 70, 80 miles per hour.
Well, because first you hit the windshield.
Right, and that's blunt force trauma to your head and your vital organs.
And then you hit the ground or the tree or whatever else.
Right, that's a lot of pressure on your body's organs, and it's very hard to survive that.
Kind of surprises me that we're seeing more unrestrained drivers. I mean, we have been wearing seatbelts by law now for 30 years. And it seemed like pretty much everybody had the message. I just don't get this, unrestrained.
There's still a misconception also that you don't have to be restrained in the rear seat of the vehicle, and you do. Regardless of your seating position, you have to be restrained in the vehicle. And we also, every Tuesday, matter of fact, today after this, I'm going and install child safety seats, and we do that for free at Troop A from 1 to 4, and every troop in the area does that. So, as well as our children, they need to be properly restrained.
Let me talk about that a little bit, because I know there's some new parents that probably got an infant or a toddler seat for Christmas, right, because kids will outgrow them. They have to be checked for safety. Now, they're supposed to come from the manufacturer to be safe for your child, but what does that really mean?
We follow the manufacturer's instructions. Whenever they get their seat, there's a manufacturer instructions. And if you bring it to Troop A or another technician, that's what our troopers do. We certify them through a 40-hour class, through instructors of child safety seats. And after they're certified, they can go out into the troops and on the road and they can install these seats. It's just give you peace of mind as well that the troopers and the technicians are following the instructions. And we always refer back to the manufacturer's instructions on installing a seat.
Now, I know years ago, I went out to one of your installation events.
Right.
And now this is going back about 10 or 15 years. And about 10% of the seats that came in with these parents, the trooper said, you can't use this. It's defective. It's dangerous. Is it still that high a percentage, or are they getting a little better?
I think it's much higher.
Really?
I would say more than 50% come in incorrectly installed. You know, a lot of people use the seatbelt and the latch system. It's one or the other, and we can go over that with you in more detail if you come see us. And all of our postings at every troop within the state are posted online on lsp.org.
And people can come to any troop and say, would you mind, I got my kid and my car, would you mind checking this seat for me? And somebody will check it.
Absolutely. We do it by appointments, as well as if you walk into Troop A from 1 to 4 on Tuesdays, we're going to do it for you. So we encourage you to do that, and I've never heard of anybody being turned away at the door of getting a child safety seat correctly installed.
Now, a lot of state police agencies, fortunately not LSP, reported that they are seeing a really, really bad uptick in extremely excessive speed. We've been seeing this out of CHP in California. Texas DPS has been talking about this, that they're writing tickets for speed only that are 95, 105, 106. What is up with that? Why all this excessive speed?
So I can tell you from Troop A a few weeks back, we did a couple media interviews, and it was due to the excessive speeding on I-10 at Highland. The roadway was recently opened, and we had troopers in one weekend wrote in excess of 50 people for going 100 miles per hour and over.
Wait a minute, wait.
Yeah.
One weekend.
1 weekend, 2 days.
50 people in triple digits.
Yes, sir. They didn't write anybody under triple digits. It was all 100 miles per hour and over.
Well, I mean, I've passed on that new section in the last few weeks, and it's beautiful. And it's wide.
Very wide.
It looks like a runway at an airport. Is that it? People are saying, oh man, it's just wide open, and they lose track of what they're doing?
I think they're so unused to there being no traffic at that particular location, they kind of open it up. But what you have to remember too is the median is very steep right there. It's bordered by trees, and if you're not wearing your seatbelt in conjunction with speeding, it's going to end up in a fatality crash. And for the motoring public, we do have an increased focus on speed and impaired driving over the holiday season. So troopers are currently out there and will remain out there riding speeders.
Now, normally during the holidays, we hear about a lot of agencies that are using overtime funds and federal funds for DUI enforcement. I would assume that LSP is doing that as well.
Yes, we're funded federally, and troopers can sign up for that and work federally funded overtime for impaired driving. We also have our regular shifts with an increased focus on impaired driving.
Do you ever announce where you're going to be, or is it every trooper on the road, when you see them, they are watching out for DUI drivers?
So it's a prerequisite for a DWI checkpoint to inform the public of where that's going to be held. But as far as your average trooper just patrolling the road every single day, they're always looking for impaired drivers.
I have watched, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers have seen this as well, the new commercials about drunk driving. And I think they're very effective because they're not stereotypical. They've got people from all kinds of walks of life, and they say, if you feel a buzz, don't drive. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. And I think a lot of folks, and I'm not going to say just young people, it's everybody, don't understand when they're impaired and when, if they don't have an accident but get caught for another violation, they're going to get hooked up. So run us through it. How can you be sure that you are not over the limit?
So always have a plan in place. If you plan to consume alcohol over the holiday season, whether it's at a party or at a bar, have a plan in place, have a designated driver, utilize a taxi cab service, Uber, Lyft. Those are all great tools you can use And I know when I was growing up, I always had a trusted friend of my parents would say, if you're drinking, give us a call. No matter what time of night it is, we're going to come and get you. We cannot stress the importance of not drinking and driving. A lot of the fatalities we see, especially in the Troop A area, are due to two things. Three things. Speed, unrestrained drivers, and impaired driving.
Well, and I mean, I've got to wonder if there's a relationship between people not putting on their seatbelts and having their judgment impaired because they've had too much to drink. It almost seems like there's a relationship there. That's the combination that's going to get you killed.
Most definitely. When you drink, you're not to your full senses. That's why it impairs your ability to drive. It's a depressant. Alcohol is a depressant. It depresses your reflexes, and you perceive things a lot slower. And that's why we see people who cross the center line, they're going extremely slow. And a lot of those times, those are the people who are impaired driving, as well as on their cell phones. We see that a lot too.
They used to tell us, for most people, 1.5 ounce of alcohol cocktail, 1 6-ounce glass of wine, 1 12-ounce beer per hour, and you should be okay. Now that's conventional wisdom, and I see you smiling. You're going to say, for some people, you're not going to be okay.
Right. Everybody metabolizes alcohol differently, and I don't know how I metabolize it, quite frankly. Some days maybe I can have 2 beers and I'll be below. I can have 2 beers and I'll be above it. But the important thing about it is, if, like I said, have a plan in place. Just don't drink and drive. If you're going to consume alcohol, just get someone else to drive you home.
Well, we have a lot of people during the holidays that drink that don't normally drink.
Right.
You're sitting at the Thanksgiving table or at the Christmas Eve buffet or at the Christmas dinner on New Year's Eve, and somebody's pouring you a glass of wine to have with that dinner, and you're not normally a drinker, and maybe you have 2. And the next thing you know, it's time to say goodnight, and you're getting in your car, and even though you've had some food and you haven't had too many, you might get to that 0.08.
Definitely. There's a misconception, I can eat a lot after I drink, and that's going to lower my BAC. I can drink coffee. Those are all myths. We have troopers specifically trained, they're called DREs, or drug recognition experts, and they go through extensive training to detect impaired drivers. So a lot of people chew gum, put cologne on to prevent the officer from smelling alcohol in their breath. There's a lot of other things we look at when we're assessing an impaired driver. Your speech, if you're swaying, your pupils, nystagmus, all those things we take into account.
Now, alcohol is not the only thing that can impair a driver. There are some people that take prescription medicines. They have a reason to do that. They have a doctor's prescription. But that can impair them as well and make them just as dangerous to themselves and others as someone who is drinking alcohol. How do you all deal with that?
So that's ordinarily when we would call a drug recognition expert. The preliminary officer would notice something isn't right. They would see some sort of impairment, and we would use a trooper who's specifically trained in that area to detect what type of drug you're on. But if you're prescribed it, obviously you need to be careful of that, not go in excess of what you are prescribed. You're prescribed that for a certain reason, and when you include alcohol in prescription drugs, that's when we see major impairment.
Well, and some of these, even as universal and mild a drug as Benadryl, say you shouldn't drive or operate heavy machinery, things like that. Does that mean, from a law enforcement standpoint, that if your allergies are kicking up and you've been taking that Benadryl, you probably shouldn't be driving?
If it impairs you, if you get stopped, obviously the officer had a reason to stop you. And listen, officer, I drank a whole bottle of Benadryl. Well, if you can't stand up, that's impairment. He would have to articulate that, obviously.
Is he going to get arrested?
If he's impaired, he will. Yeah. I mean, if you drink a whole bottle of Benadryl, if you're impaired, the same amount of impairment on Benadryl as you are on alcohol is still impairment. That's what we arrest based upon impairment, not a blood alcohol content level.
Well, I want to talk about that a little bit, about impairment, but we have to take a break. We'll be right back. Our guest today, Trooper First Class Taylor Scrantz from LSP, Louisiana State Police. If you have any questions, by the way, you can go ahead and give us a phone call. We'll put the number back up after we come up from break. We're watching Exiles TV. Stick around.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Welcome back. Glad to have you with us on Exiles TV. I'm Bill Profita. Kevin, taking a day off today. Clarence coming up in just a little while, like about a half an hour from now. In the meantime, we are talking with Trooper First Class Taylor Scrantz with Louisiana State Police. We're talking a little bit about impaired driving. And you know, during the holidays, we have a tendency to, I don't want to put it too bluntly, but we let ourselves get impaired. We're having a good time with family and friends. We maybe we have 2 drinks a week, and then all of a sudden we're at the table, you know, on New Year's Eve, and we have 3 drinks, and then we have the champagne toast, and then boop, we're in the car, and you can get into trouble. Now, there are going to be extra troopers out that are going to be looking for people that are impaired. How do you define impairment on the side of the road? If you make the stop, and it's dark outside, how do you define what's impaired?
So how it would go, a trooper will conduct a traffic stop, you know, you have an interview. Face to face, that's when you see an officer talking to somebody on the side of the road, and a lot of times they'll detect an odor of alcoholic beverages emitting from the driver's breath. After that, they'll move into a field sobriety test. It's a 3-step test. They test your eyes, and a walk and turn and 1-leg stand test, which checks your fine motor skills as well as your deviated attention. And based upon those 3 tests and what he observes, that's how they define impairment.
So if you feel that somebody's impaired, that they really can't operate the vehicle safely, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're drunk or under the influence of prescription drugs. It's just that their motor skills are not quite what they should be to where you feel safe. Do you have to arrest them at that point, or do you then do a blood alcohol test? What do you do then at that point?
So on the side of the road, if the trooper determines you are impaired, he would arrest you, and then the secondary step to that is a breathalyzer test, intoxilizer test, essentially, where you blow into the machine to measure your blood alcohol content. And if that is not in conjunction with the level of impairment that the trooper sees, then they can opt for a blood test and get a warrant and do that. However, if they determine, this guy's been drinking, however, he's not impaired, ordinarily we'll call somebody to come pick you up, but it's a trooper's discretion on whether they determine you're impaired or not.
So a lot of it depends on what you see and what you sense and how people respond.
Right. It all goes back to the training they receive in the training academy, as well as the continued training they receive every year on impaired driving. That's what we're kind of known for, is detecting impaired driving as well as investigating fatality crashes.
Well, it's just too easy now to not drive. I think we've probably got Uber and Lyft in every community in this city.
Definitely in Baton Rouge. I see them driving around every single night. I left the gym the other day and I saw at least 6 Uber vehicles. So they're definitely out there, and there are definitely a lot of steps you can take to drink and have a good time and not drink and drive.
Yeah, it just makes good sense. If you don't mind, I want to turn our attention to, we're seeing a lot of it in New Orleans. They're reporting on it. I don't know if it's happening so much in Troop A, but just in general, carjacking, armed carjacking, usually happens not in your driveway, but it happens in a public place. You're stopped at a congested intersection, or you're maybe in a shopping center parking lot, and it can be very fast, very scary, and very violent. Are there methods that average people can use to make themselves a harder target to where that carjacker will pick on someone else?
Yeah, basic steps, locking your vehicle, not leaving your keys visible in your vehicle, not leaving your weapon visible. I see a lot of people leave their weapon just sitting on the console through untinted windows. That's very visible as well. And also, we encourage you to protect yourself. You can take a concealed carry class that Louisiana State Police offers. You have to go through a background check and fingerprinting, which also is done at Louisiana State Police headquarters on Independence Boulevard. And those are just a couple of tips you can use to better protect yourself.
Well, we have, I guess you could call it a problem. I'm not trying to be unkind, but we have on a lot of state highways. Bluebonnet Boulevard occurs to me here. It's a state police jurisdiction.
Yes.
Perkins Road, I-10 at College, just to name a few. We have a lot of panhandlers. They will come up and approach your car. And that can be very, very scary to people, because you don't know if it's a real panhandler or someone's going to try to jerk you out of that car and steal your car. There's got to be some sort of modality to keep these people who are panhandling away from the vehicles.
Yeah, so as far as an enforcement standpoint, there is a statute you can arrest someone for panhandling on or cite them for panhandling. We encourage you to call. Either, if you feel uncomfortable, call 911. That's locally going to dispatch the local sheriff's office or the PD, because a lot of those times at those intersections, they're within the city limits or the parish. But if not, there's a trooper in the near proximity, they'll respond as well.
If the worst case scenario happens to somebody, if they're in their car, just got in their car at Mall, Louisiana, or another shopping center, and they see somebody come rushing up with a weapon, is it best, if you can, to just floor it and get the hell out of there, even if you bump into somebody else? Or, do you have to sit there and wait for this guy to attack you?
No, I think, you can use common sense. Each individual circumstance is different, but, you need to weigh the totality of the circumstances, and if you feel that your life is in danger, by all means, protect yourself.
Well, and that's always a difficult call to make. It's difficult for an officer who's trained for this.
Right.
Think of how difficult it is for a citizen to make that decision in a split second. Should I be in fear of my life? Am I in fear of my life? Or is this guy harmless? That's a tough call.
It is, and I think every person, if you truly feel that your life is in danger, or if you have to make that call for yourself. That's why if you can, the tips I told you earlier, just protecting yourself through concealed carry and whatever it may be. It's an unfortunate situation that we have to deal with in Baton Rouge, but you got to make that decision for yourself. And if you can articulate why you did what you did, just like an officer does, that's what we encourage.
Well, and a lot more people are getting concealed carry permits. A lot more people are carrying weapons in their vehicles because they feel that there is a generalized danger out there, and I can't disagree with that. But we still in Louisiana, your car is an extension of your home, as I remember it. You don't need a permit to carry a vehicle in your car. If you could stop for speeding, it's a good idea to tell the officer that you have a gun in your car.
Definitely. It is a requirement if you do have a concealed carry on you and you do get stopped, you have to let the officer know, I have a weapon on me and it's concealed.
Yeah.
That's part of getting certified to have a concealed carry license. Yeah, I mean, it's just, as a disclaimer, it makes the officer more comfortable, makes you more comfortable that you both know there's a weapon in there. By no means is it illegal at all to carry a weapon. That's your right as a citizen. But it's just good practice to let people or let the officer know you have a weapon.
But when we get right down to that judgment call, so somebody, I saw some video from New Orleans and it was absolutely terrifying. Car pulls up in a parking lot, blocks the car that they're trying to steal from leaving. 3 guys run out. 2 of them, you can clearly see the handguns. One is the guy that's going to grab the woman and throw her to the ground so they can take her car. Do you have to see a weapon to shoot? Or if you say, hey, 3 guys blocking me and running for the car, I'm not gonna let them put their hands on me.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to what I was saying with every circumstance is different from each one, depends on the totality of the circumstances. If you truly feel your life is in danger and you can articulate what you did, why you did, and if you see that happening, by all means call 911, and that way we can actually get officers there, first responders there to get these people off of you, whatever it may be.
I cannot believe, by the way, that we're seeing an uptick on this. Cameras are everywhere now.
Yeah, everything's
You are
recorded.
going to get caught.
Yeah.
If you don't get shot at the scene by someone who's got their own weapon, you're going to get caught. Cameras are everywhere.
Everywhere, on homes, on businesses, in patrol vehicles. See a lot of cameras now in just in people's personal vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
Commercial motor vehicles have cameras in them now. So yeah, we certainly encourage people to obey the law and not hold up innocent people.
Well, we want to remind everybody as we go through the holiday season, and the holiday season isn't over when New Year's Eve ends. There's going to be New Year's Day gatherings, and then you're going to have, in South Louisiana particularly during the Mardi Gras season, which we may or may not have, you're still going to have 12th night parties. So there are going to be lots of extra troopers on the road. They are there for your safety, but they are also going to be patrolling for people who are impaired while they're driving. So please, just don't do it. And if we get a big freeze, as they're predicting late on New Year's Eve, I would assume that you all will still update road conditions by star LSP on your mobile phone, right?
Yes, so you can go to 511la.org, and that gives you the traffic conditions wherever you may be traveling, as well as the Louisiana State Police Facebook page, DOTD Facebook page, and Twitter, and we keep those updated.
Well, we thank you for being with us, and for all the men and women of Louisiana State Police. Seeing a lot more of you out there, and that's a good thing, but we're glad for what you all do for us, and hope for a better new year as we come forward. But hey, you're doing a good job. The DWIs are down. The DWI fatalities are down. Let's keep it that way. Trooper First Class Taylor Scrantz, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having us today.
A brief break, and then we will wrap it up here on Exiles TV. Stick around. All right, good job, man. Thank you.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology, which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer welcomes you to our biggest clearance sale of the year, the Happy Honda Days sales event. Get year-end clearance pricing on over 900 new Hondas, plus a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Honda. Save thousands on your new Honda right here at Team Honda.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hello there, this is Exiles TV. I'm Bill Profita, Kevin Gallagher, taking a day off. Clarence Buggs coming your way in just about 10 minutes right here. And of course, both shows, Exiles TV and the Clarence Buggs Show, will repeat at 10 o'clock tonight on this very same station. We have an awful lot of elderly folks in Louisiana. And many of them are in assisted living and nursing homes, and there is some good news for all of them. The Moderna virus, COVID vaccine is what I mean to say, is being rolled out very, very quickly, and there are going to be vaccinations rolling out very, very quickly for residents, staff, and other folks at long-term nursing facilities. Now, there are 35,000 of those right now in the hands of nursing homes, and they believe that that number is going to triple over the next several days. What makes this a little more interesting and a little more relevant is that at this point, and again, the research is early because it's been so early, the Moderna vaccine seems to have higher effectiveness. Now, they're both in the 90s, but the Moderna vaccine seems to have higher effectiveness on people over the age of 65 than the Pfizer vaccine. The Moderna vaccine also doesn't need the very, very, very deep freeze conditions. It can actually be kept in a standard refrigerator and not lose any of its effectiveness. And in fact, in some cities, Walgreens and CVS will be delivering these vaccines. When I mean delivering, I mean actually doing the injections for some nursing homes and long-term care facilities that do not have trained staff that can do that available at the time the vaccine becomes available. So if you've got a relative in a nursing facility and you're worried about their immunity and their exposure to coronavirus, many people have already started. 35,000 have already gotten the Moderna vaccine. I don't have any numbers on how many have gotten the Pfizer vaccine. I would assume that it's a similar number. But they will be getting Moderna vaccine throughout the course of the next few weeks, and it has started, by the way. It has already started. I was looking to see, before we leave you, if there's any news from the United States Senate about the larger stimulus amount, and I'm kind of checking my news sources as I speak to you, and I'm thinking that what is happening is that probably they are still debating their veto override vote on the defense spending bill, which already passed the House of Representatives. Of course, the $2,000 COVID relief check has already passed the House of Representatives, and the Senate is going to take that on next. They have said that it's going to be a kind of a tough sale to the Republicans in the Senate because it is just so much money. Now, as Garrett Graves told us months ago, this is 10 years worth of debt for our children, and that's the first go-round. Second go-round should be another 10 years as well. But you're going to have a lot of people that cannot sustain themselves without this. So we will see what happens with this. As always, we thank you very much for being with us. On behalf of Kevin, who couldn't be with us today, I want to wish you all a very, very, very happy New Year. We will be back on the 4th, which is a Monday, to take it all up again. I would ask you all to please be safe and stay well during the New Year's holiday and still manage to enjoy getting rid of this god-awful year and hoping for a better year next. God bless you. Thank you for joining us, and Happy New Year, everybody. Clarence Buggs is coming up next.